I always thought I understood the ocean, not just the silence of it, but the currents, the pressure, the way sound bends and vanishes down there. I had always felt comfortable on water, even when the sky collapsed with storms or the waves were tall enough to blot out the horizon. I'd seen the ocean in all its moods, and I had never once feared it, until the night I stared into it and felt it looking back. It was supposed to be a routine mission, a solo retrieval of data from a research buoy drifting above a poorly mapped trench in the North Atlantic. The assignment was nothing extraordinary. Calibrate the instruments, log the temperature profiles, and collect the acoustic recordings for review back at the lab. A job for someone experienced, calm, methodical, which I was, but from the moment I arrived, something felt wrong with the water. There was no storm, no obvious threat, just an unnatural stillness that hung in the air. The waves were too smooth, the wind too calm, and the horizon too still. It was as if the ocean had paused. That night, I reviewed the acoustic data expecting the usual patterns: the crackle of ice, the lonely echoes of migrating whales, or the distant sound of tectonic shifts. But what I heard instead was silence, like a void had opened beneath the surface and swallowed the noise. When I played the sonar back, it revealed something stranger, a depth reading that didn't make sense, a point where the signal should have bounced back but simply didn't. I should have stood there. I should have turned off the machine, written down equipment error, and gone to bed. But I didn't, because I felt something deep in my chest, a pressure that wasn't physical, an awareness or the beginning of a question I didn't want to answer to. Deep into the night, I walked out onto the deck. The stars above were sharp, and the sea below was black glass. I looked over the rail, down into the trench, and for the first time in my life, I felt what I can only describe as a recoil. Not from what I saw, but from what I couldn't. The darkness beneath the ship wasn't just absence, it was density. It pulled at the edges of my vision and made me feel unmoored from my body, as though if I had leaned any further, I wouldn't have fallen into the ocean. I would have fallen out of the world entirely. I didn't see a creature, no glowing eyes or monstrous tentacles rising from the depths. What I felt was far worse. I felt the shape of something that couldn't be seen, something so vast, so old, so still that my mind had no frame of reference to hold it. A presence that had always been there, lurking on the abyssal dark, not needing to rise, but content to let you find it in your own time. And when you do, it does nothing. It doesn't chase you. It doesn't roar. It simply makes sure you never forget that you were there, staring into it, while its simple watched you not belong. I don't remember getting back inside. I don't remember sleeping, but I remember the feeling of deck beneath my feet, soft with dew, the hum of the engines gone quiet, and the overwhelming sense that I had been seen, not by a monster, but by the deep itself.